Across the Darling Downs and the Granite Belt and into the Lockyer Valley, you're waking up with Damo here on 4AK. Time for us to get some history into your ears, and we do that with Harold Peacock from historyouthere.com. G'day, mate.
Yes, good morning, Dalby. I'm back again with another story from right up north. So, yeah, it's on the Darling Downs and Granite Belt, but this story has inspiration from the Northern Territory.
Yeah, now you were working hard doing some fishing off Nhulunbuy, was it?
Yeah, Nhulunbuy, someone's got to do it, and I got a pretty good catch, and it was in the waters where this story actually happened, so that is the inspiration, and I came across the story of two Dalby brothers.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hear it, mate.
Yeah, look, some of our older listeners in Dalby may remember hearing about Mr. Cecil Wallace Kentish. Now, he passed away in 1940, and for some years he was a member of the Tara Shire Council, but he was much more than that. See, Mr. Kentish, he was an early settler in Western Queensland, cooperating with the Queensland Government agent in Melbourne. In 1910, he actually led a trek of 200 Victorians up here into Western Queensland and personally guided the settlers to their selections at the Gums and South Glen in the Tara district.
Oh.
Yeah, anyway, and Mr. Kentish, he'd been a successful entrepreneur in Victoria. His general carrying business operated opposite the town hall in St Kilda. And in just 2.5 years, it grew from one wagon to 13 vehicles, including a range of express wagons and jinkers for people that know those things, and 18 horses. So he did quite well. Mr. Kentish's brother, Arthur Felix Kentish, he also came to Queensland and to Dalby. In Melbourne, in Kew, he'd been the sole Victorian agent for the Melbourne company Rinaldi, which continues today as the oldest pasta manufacturer in Australia. And I know you're keen on them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the Gums, one day in 1919, Mr. Kentish's younger son, Rupert Kentish, he faced death when coming home from school. Now, the 6-year-old fell out of their sulky and the wheel drove over his head. Now, bleeding started from his ears and continued all night, but it wasn't until morning that it was thought advisable to take him to Dalby Hospital.
Right.
Anyway, the boy survived to become a timber cutter and cane cutter in North Queensland, a dairy worker in Ipswich, and the member for Arnhem in the first Northern Territory Legislative Assembly. And Rupert, he followed his older brother, the Reverend Leonard Kentish, to Arnhem Land. And that's how I came across the two of them, because as we're talking about, I've just come back from there myself.
Yes.
Now, Reverend Kentish, he was considered a brilliant scholar and was the pride of the Dalby and Tara districts. He received a primary school education at the Gums State School. 2 years in a row, he won the Dalby Herald Essay Prize at the Dalby Show.
Wow.
And then gained a scholarship to Dalby High School. Now, he took honours in his high school examinations and entered the public service, starting at the Ipswich City Council. 2 years later, he took up work as a home missionary and then entered the University of Queensland, where he won a further scholarship, gained honours in philosophy, and became the first Methodist minister in Queensland to earn the degree of Bachelor of Divinity. He was then posted to minister in Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory. Now, as we know, war came, the Second World War came, and it wasn't a great place to be. So while one brother, Rupert Kentish, was evacuated to Sydney, the other brother, the Reverend Kentish, he remained up there to continue his ministry, as well as clandestinely run a network of coast watchers. Now, on the 22nd of January 1943, Reverend Kentish on Nhulunbuy Island boarded the ship HMAS Patricia Cam, which was a former tuna fishing trawler. That afternoon off Wessel Island, north of Nhulunbuy, a Japanese Navy float plane approached the ship and dropped a bomb into its open hatch. The bomb blew the bottom off the boat, causing it to sink within a minute. All the lifeboats were shattered, and so the survivors were left clinging to debris in the water. Now, the plane returned and dropped a second bomb. For half an hour it circled with its rear gunner firing at survivors in the sea. The plane landed on the water and the machine gunner opened fire again. One of the Japanese aircrew then climbed onto the plane's floats with a pistol and gestured for the men to swim closer. Now, Kentish, being the closest, was forced into the aircraft, which then took off, and he was never seen again. Now, Reverend Kentish was the only Australian captured by the Japanese forces in Australia during World War II. It wasn't until after the war had ended that it was discovered that he had been beheaded.
Oh.
Now, the perpetrator was tracked down and hanged as a war criminal. Now, I visited the memorial commemorating HMAS Patricia Cam and the people that died. It's at the Nhulunbuy boat ramp heading to the sea where all this happened. And it was from that boat ramp that I went fishing, as you said, and we caught a load of very nice mackerel, tuna and red snapper, not to mention a stack of shark and giant trevally that we threw back.
Right.
Now, those latter fish kept their heads, but the same could not be said for the tragic story of Dalby's Kentish family, who I think they deserve to be better remembered somehow here on the Darling Downs. Maybe we should have a memorial here to them as well.
We should do, and well, two heads are better than one, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. We've got to think about this, but I think here's one family that grew up in Dalby and gave so much to the development of the place, and yet how many people in Dalby know about the Kentish family and the awful end to their leading life?
There you go. Remember the name, the Kentish family, and as we always like to remind people, you were just holidaying in East Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory. You were there to raise money for the Drug Arm charity, with the Arnhem Land Hike for Health.
Yes, that's right. Drug Arm helps to works to reduce the harm of alcohol and other drugs, and has offices right across Darling Downs and Granite Belt, so people are probably familiar with Drug Arm. And it was more than a holiday because I was out on country, camping on homelands, and you're right, I was raising awareness and money for Drug Arm to reduce these harms. So please, if anyone can, go to my website, historyouthere.com, click on the Arnhem Land Hike for Health, and can donate direct their Drug Arm there. It's tax deductible. You get the receipt straight away.
There you go.
So any help is greatly appreciated.
That's it. Historyouthere.com. You'll find that link for Drug Arm and the Hike for Health. And also, of course, you'll find that story too a little later this week.
That's right. On Friday, I'll post a story and photos of the characters in there as well, from the Kentish family from Dalby.
Fantastic, mate. Appreciate your time this morning and look forward to catching up with you again next week.
See you then.